And most of all, Donald Trump wants us to think that this country is hopelessly divided between us and them, between the real Americans, who of course support him, and the outsiders who don't. And he wants you to think that you'll be richer and safer if you will just give him the power to put those other people back in their place. It is one of the oldest tricks in politics from a guy whose act has, let's face it, gotten pretty stale. We do not need 4 more years of bluster and bumbling and chaos. We have seen that movie before, and we all know that the sequel is usually worse.
Mr. Trump is a racist. The country has seen Mr. Trump court white supremacists and bigots. You have heard him call poorer countries shitholes. In private, he is even worse. He once asked me if I could name a country run by a black person that wasn't a shithole. This was when Barack Obama was president of the United States. And while we were once driving through a struggling neighborhood in Chicago, he commented that only black people could live that way. And he told me that black people would never vote for him because they were too stupid. And yet, I continue to work for him.
This government has lost its fucking mind. The new outlines for government contracts have removed the civil rights inclusions. That means that they have taken out the provisions that forbid people signing these contracts from having segregated waiting rooms. I assume restrooms, definitely water fountains. So Donald Trump is trying to put Jim Crow back into force. Luckily, there are state laws that preclude them enforcing this, so it is symbolic, but what a horrible symbol. Honestly, I wonder if their sheets come with the holes already cut out.
Oh my God. The administration is rolling back segregation. So what does that look like? Are we going back to black bathrooms, white bathrooms, black water fountains, white water fountains? Who else of color gets impacted by this? What? Like I almost... What do I say? What do you say? Rolling back a segregation ban. Like, what is happening? I know what's happening. What's been happening since January? What's been happening? This is America. This is America. They're rolling back the segregation ban. I can't, like, my head can't even. How far are they gonna go with it? Is it, I mean, with this administration, I mean, it could be anything. Is it gonna be, hey, you're half white and half Mexican, so, can't use that bathroom. Well, let me tell you, that would be my grandchildren, and that would really, what are you gonna do when it happens?
Y'all, we need to talk because the Trump schmatzy administration just banned segregation in all federal contracts. You know, segregation like separate bathrooms, Jim Crow 2.0 bullshit. By the way, black man just delivered my freaking UPS mail. You all are fucking unhinged with this bullshit. And to be clear, this is not about policy change. This is not about saving money. This is a message, a big, loud dog whistle to black and brown people trying to instill psychological warfare, a message that they are not safe. And it is meant to make people feel small and afraid. And white folk, this message is for you. Y'all need to call this out, not just online, but at work, at school, at the dinner table. This ain't just politics, this is real life. If you stay quiet, you're part of the problem. Speak up, shut it down, because separate does not mean equal. It was never equal, and we are not going back. Take action. You want to do something? Read a fucking book. Better yet, support black businesses. By the way, ladies, they know some really great shit. Somebody find this company. I bought it at a Pride festival. It's freaking amazing. And when it's empty, I will buy more. Show up for your black and brown neighbors. This is the only way we're gonna win from these schmazzies. This is absolute, utter bullshit. For the love of God, share this post. Share it everywhere.
Some big news right now. Segregated facilities are no longer explicitly banned in federal contracts, according to latest NPR reporting.
So when people ask me, is it really that big of a deal? Abso-fucking-lutely. If you voted for him, you voted for this. This affects my family. So yes, it's personal.
Hey, friend, this is exactly right. This is exactly why I said it is we, the white people, who have to be at the front of the lines this time. It is we that have to go out and fight this battle. And you guys don't need to come into the street, because we know this is calculated to get you out there. We know, just like when they said they were going to pardon the man that stood on Mr. Floyd, that was intentionally calculated to get you out, because they want to unalive whole populations of people. And you and I both know you are very high on that list. I know you don't know me, and I know you have no reason to trust me, but I have children who look more like you than they look like me. So I have skin in the game. And last week, I was in D.C. with my biracial daughter and her very dark-skinned boyfriend. And when I went out and marched and argued with people and went to Congress and did all of the things that I could do there, I made them stay back. I made them stay back at the hotel, because history shows that I will be treated differently than they will. And it's not that we all don't have a part to do in this. It's just that our roles are different, and you've got to stay home, because it's absolutely what they want, is to get you into the streets. But that doesn't mean there aren't things you can do. You know, if you are a person of faith, then you know that this battle is not just flesh and blood, but powers and principalities, and there's a spiritual realm thing going on. Man, you can do some of the most important fighting from your home, and that is in the spiritual realm. That there are other things, you know, knowing that we know that you have to stay home, and you know that we have to go out. This is how I hope our future will be different, because we now can show you there are some of us who are not like the rest. There are some of us who believe that a person should be judged on the content of their character and not the color of their skin. That great dream is a dream for me too, for my children and for yours. But please stay home. Please don't come out in the streets. This one's on us, and we got you.
It's time to speak up. They're rolling back segregation. They are rolling back segregation. It is now no longer illegal to require separate facilities for people of different races. It is no longer illegal to say, here's the white water fountain and here's the colored water fountain. To be clear, the Civil Rights Act of 1964 is still in place and has not been disbanded. But we know what their goal is. There is always step one in a process, and we absolutely know what their goal is. They are rolling back segregation. What are we going to do about it? What are we going to do about it? Because this time, white people, we are the ones that are going to be on the front crossing that bridge. Do you hear me? We are the ones that are going to stand in the streets. Our black countrymen have done their time at the front of the lines, and it is our turn. It is our turn to face the water hoses and to face the dogs and to face the tear gas, because we have let this happen. Not on my watch. Not while there is breath in me will we go back. Is anybody out there with me?
You can't continue to let this go on. I can't continue to let this go on. We can't continue to let this go on. We cannot continue to walk around with our eyes shut and our ears closed. Okay? What is it going to take? We have come way too far to have society be set back 75 years. 75 years. What are we doing with these these executional or these executive orders removing policies that allow for segregation? What are we doing? Oh, yes, it's government contractors. You know who those government contractors are? SpaceX, Tesla, Amazon, probably. It's all a bunch of smoke and mirrors and all these MAGA folks falling for the okie doke. It has to stop. And in the latest news, guess who's overseeing the housing board? Oh yeah, Musk. Musk, along with his buddies. I think it's Plute, the head of Plute Homes. And now they're all buying up a bunch of stock because it's like $6 a pop. They're taking everything. They're taking everything. When in history have we had a president incite this amount of fear among so much of the country? I can't recall it in my lifetime. Yet Dems and Republicans have never really gotten along. Obviously, they're on different sides of the aisle. But society's divided. And for the people that continue to say it's just the Democrats who hate the Republicans and they don't want to see it's a bunch of bullshit. It's a bunch of brainwashed bullshit. And it's going to take some serious shit to go down for them to open their eyes. The thing I love about this TikTok platform is that we can continue to share and talk and communicate with each other on the things that are going on so that we can continue to create awareness. You may not want to hear it. I get it. But you need to be aware. Because I can tell you right now, if you search Republicans that regret their vote, you're going to see hundreds of thousands of videos. Check it out.
Hey guys, this message is for MAGA. MAGA, you know, we've spent 10 years calling you a bunch of racist Yahtzees. And you said that that was unfair and that Donald Trump wasn't a racist and the Republican Party wasn't racist. And that over the last 2 years, you've talked about the fact that Project 2025 was not a real thing and that Trump would never endorse it. Now, mind you, in the last month and a half, 2 months since he's become president, we've seen him not only endorse Project 2025, but also implement a good portion of it, right? But this is about the racism aspect. You know, we've called you this, we've called Donald Trump this. We have tons of evidence that we've procured and explained and shown that, in fact, prove that Donald Trump is a racist. Now, the Donald Trump Yahtzee regime has decided to take out any protections for segregation from government contracts. That's the first step of making sure black people drink from separate water fountains. That's the first step in making sure they don't eat at our restaurants. And this isn't just going to be for black people, guys. This is going to be for trans people, for gay people. It's going to extend to women in the workplace. It's going to extend to all different races that are not white people. Yep, that's what's going to happen. So now, MAGA, that is what's going on in the public eye, and we know it. Just fucking say the words. We are MAGA, and we are racists.
Okay, so segregated facilities are no longer explicitly banned. Let's get ahead of this. Let's make a safe space for everybody. No MAGA. There's the drinking fountain for MAGA. There's the portion of the restaurant for MAGA. I heard segregation is okay again.
Well, it's official. Segregation is now back on the table for the American government, and we have Donald Trump to thank for it. You heard me right. Thanks to Donald Trump, segregation is now no longer banned in the federal government. More specifically, government contractors are no longer banned from having segregated restaurants, waiting rooms, and drinking fountains.
We have some shocking news. Donald Trump has just effectively legalized segregation for federal contractors by signing an executive order to remove a civil rights era ban on segregated areas like drinking fountains, transportation, and housing. Even though the Civil Rights Act still makes segregation technically illegal, the federal government is ultimately responsible for its enforcement and investigation into any violations, and Trump signing this order is a clear message that the government will not step in. A spokesperson for the General Services Administration was quoted referring to the prior ban on segregation as a, quote, damaging policy of the past administration. Several federal agencies have already begun recognizing these changes, including the Department of Homeland Security and the National Institute of Health, both of which have issued notices advising employees not to consider the prior segregation ban going forward. This is only the latest of Trump's attacks on DEI, but this order goes a step further given the history our country has with segregation.
What's up, everybody? Major retired Richard Ojeda here, and Donald Trump has just removed a federal ban on contractors from having segregated restaurants, waiting rooms, and drinking fountains. Ladies and gentlemen, he's literally bringing segregation back. Where are all of these people in Washington, D.C., these Republicans? Where are they at? Where are you at, Richard Hudson? You've got people of color in your district. I think you need to answer for what we're seeing right now. This is unacceptable. Donald Trump is a racist, and anybody who stands by him and allows him to continue doing what he's doing is just as racist. This is unacceptable. We deserve so much better. Folks, let me tell you something. Vote.
Well, this is breaking news, and this is extremely shocking, and everybody should probably be concerned about this. The Trump administration has now removed an explicit ban on segregated facilities for federal contractors, like waiting rooms, restaurants, and even drinking fountains. Do keep in mind, Trump, in this one executive order, right, revoked executive policies dating as far back as 1965. On equal employment opportunities, environmental actions designed to protect communities of color, and even workforce balancing efforts by federal contractors based on race, gender, and even religion. Do keep in mind the 1965 action aimed to end discriminatory practices in hiring and employment on the part of U.S. government contractors. I mean, the measures that Trump is trying to dismantle literally aim to uplift marginalized groups and obviously address the continued effect of historical and generational inequity. And Trump and his allies are literally defending his actions by saying that his orders aim to remove what they call discrimination against other Americans. And I'm sure you're aware of who those Americans are. And if you aren't, well, let's just say that they look like me. And let's do keep in mind, this is right after Trump chose to invoke the Alien Enemies Act of 1798, which he mentioned is being used to deport members of these gangs. But when you realistically think about it, you can't help but to wonder if it'll go much further than that. I mean, we're talking about even U.S. citizens here, people. I've seen ICE attempt to deport members of the Navajo people. How the fuck are you gonna deport Native Americans? How does that work?
In some wild breaking news that I was not expecting on my 2025 bingo card, which to be honest, maybe I should have, segregation is now legal again in federal facilities. Yeah, I said that. I had to say that in 2025. The Trump administration has rescinded a very long-standing prohibition against segregated facilities. This now means that if a federal building feels like it, they could segregate waiting rooms, restaurants, and drinking fountains, and buses, and things like that. Now, the caveat to this is that the state level prohibitions do still exist, so you certainly won't see these pop up overnight. This is more of a symbolic move by the Trump administration, but it happened. It happened. Follow for more, and I will keep you updated on this nonsense.
Donald Trump erased Jackie Robinson as part of his civil rights purge at the White House, only to bring it back after an outcry. Jackie Robinson, you may recall, is a famous Major League Baseball player who's African American. He was the first black Major League Baseball player, I believe it was 1947, and also served in the U.S. military. Well, there used to be a page about him on the Pentagon website talking about his amazing accomplishments, and Trump had it deleted, because Trump is doing a DEI purge, which is basically the Trump code word for civil rights. This is part of an overall campaign Trump has been doing recently, going after civil rights across the board. He deleted mentions of people of color, women, and Latinos on the Arlington National Cemetery website. Those links were taken down. They deleted the mentions of the Tuskegee Airmen from the Air Force training manuals. These are famous African-American pilots during World War II. They were part of the training for the Air Force. Trump had it deleted because, again, DEI, right, civil rights. The Navajo coders, there was pages actually on the Pentagon website talking about the Native Americans who helped us in World War II by basically speaking their native tongue, like Navajo, on the radios, so the Japanese and the Germans in Europe couldn't understand them because they didn't know the Native American languages, and they did amazing work. They helped, they were instrumental in battles across Asia, across Europe. Actually, D-Day landing, the Choctaw, I believe, helped. The Navajo helped us at a number of battles in Asia. They got deleted too by Trump and company, and they even deleted the Enola Gay. We found out. Remember? The airplane that was used to drop the bomb on Japan in World War II, they deleted the mention of the airplane because the name was gay. Now, Jackie Robinson came back. That's great. But guys, this isn't just really childish. It's incredibly dangerous and incredibly offensive that you're actually trying to erase American heroes, American veterans.
How is this not racist? Trump administration ends segregated facilities ban in federal contracts. The Trump administration has announced the federal government will no longer unequivocally prohibit contractors from having segregated restaurants, waiting rooms, and drinking fountains. Explain to me how this is not racist. What fucking country am I living in? What year is this? If you voted for Felon 47 knowing his history of racism, but you declare you're not racist, it just means you're okay with racism.
Hey MAGA, I have a question. When specifically was America great for you? Just a shot in the dark here. Would it happen to be before segregation ended? Now, right now, this is just for federal contracts, which might still get overturned by the courts, but they're telegraphing what they actually want in America. And anybody who says that Trump's not a racist can go eat their own shit, because it's his administration that is doing this. And they're doing this under the guise of trying to get rid of DEI. Now, any type of segregation is explicitly against federal and state laws. But as we keep seeing over and over again, Trump does not give a shit about law. As we have witnessed many times, he's a convicted felon. So it should be no surprise that he's trying to get rid of segregation laws. After all, who's gonna stop him? He's trying to do as much as he can to undo as much of this country as he possibly can. And why would he do this? Because he wants to get even with this country for screwing him over in the 2020 election. And he does not give a sideways shit who it's going to harm to get his revenge. Remember the first time he was in office and he was always having rallies even in non-election years? Notice how he's not really doing that much anymore? It's because he knows what he is doing is unpopular, and he knows what he is doing is going to get him some backlash and probably another, shall we say, overly enthusiastic fan. Because we all know that Jim Bob and Rita Mae were fine with other people losing some services, but now that they're starting to be affected, they're not such big fans. It's only a matter of time before he's coming after gay marriage, he's coming after mixed race marriages, even though this would affect one of his biggest buddies in the Supreme Court, Clarence Thomas. So for all you Trump supporters who say that you did not vote for racism, yes you did. And it's not like you weren't repeatedly warned. We could have had a country headed towards progress, but y'all much more prefer living in the past. I do have to ask you though, MAGA, are you happy yet? You got your mass deportations, you got your discrimination towards trans women. You're no longer required to get the jab like that was ever a real thing. But I really want to know, now that you've got all this, has it fixed your life in any way? Are you living better now? Are you able to afford things better now? Has your life improved in any way? Or is it still the same fucking life that you had before the election? And if it is basically the same, can you remind me what you voted for again?
Welcome back. We have had the reaction of white people and understand a lot of